Good evening. If you're watching this briefing, congratulations. You're not currently experiencing the end of the world. That already puts you ahead of several civilizations, 3 cults, at least 1 angelic choir, and a worrying number of environmental models. Tonight's briefing is entitled Apocalypse Count. Not the apocalypse, but apocalypse plural, because the uncomfortable truth, one the church's cults, prophets, and screaming men with placards never quite admit, is this. The world has ended many times already, and it keeps trying again. Let us begin naturally with religion, because no one does apocalypse with quite the same sort of enthusiasm. Christianity. The book of Revelation gives us 7 seals, 7 trumpets, and 7 bowls. Dragons, beasts, plagues, stars falling like bag punctuation. John of Patmos describes the end not once, but in overlapping cycles, suggesting either symbolic visions repeating, multiple apocalyptic events, or a man having the worst spiritual migraine in recorded history. Early church fathers quietly debated whether Revelation was, prophecy, political allegory, or a coded message about Rome being absolutely dreadful. Fun fact, many early Christians believed the apocalypse had already occurred with the fall of Jerusalem in 70 AD. They survived it, had lunch, and carried on. Judaism. Judaism does not obsess over the end. It prepares for repair. The concept of tikkun olam, which I hope is the right way of saying it, assumes the world will break repeatedly and must be mended repeatedly. Very sensible. Very tired. Islam describes the Day of Judgment with terrifying clarity. The sun darkens, mountains move, graves open, deeds are weighed, yet Islamic scholars also argue the signs unfurl gradually. Meaning the apocalypse may be less, fire and screaming, and more slow administrative collapse with moral consequences, which, frankly, we're quite good at, aren't we? Now, let us discuss cults. Cults adore apocalypses because they give dates, they promise certainty, they eliminate sort of refunds, don't they, I suppose? Millerites, 1844, predicted Christ's return. Didn't occur. This is referred to in theology as the Great Disappointment, which is also how my parents described my RAF exam results. Did bloody well there. Heaven's Gate believed a spacecraft followed Hale-Bopp. They boarded it? No, they didn't, because it wasn't there. This was not an apocalypse. This was a tragedy compounded by, bad astronomy. Jonestown. An apocalyptic cult with an apocalypse that was just people drinking poison and suffering from obedience. Remember this, the most dangerous apocalypse is the one that convinces people it's already inevitable. Now, for the apocalypses that did not shout, those like climate collapse, mass extinction, ocean death, ice melt, these are not announced by Trump. They're announced by charts. And the Norse feared Ragnarok, fire, frost, the sea swallowing the land. They didn't fear it because it was loud, they feared it because it was inescapable. The earth does not end in flames, it ends in thresholds crossed quietly. The terrifying thing, every civilization believes it would be the one to survive the data. None of them do. Now we move into territory I'm not officially allowed to discuss, but I will anyway. There are apocalypses caused by gods leaving, caused by gods arriving, caused by the wrong angel being put in charge. Some worlds end because hell goes quiet, heaven gets impatient, or someone asks the correct question incorrectly. I have personally logged 137 apocalyptic events. Minor, major, aborted, postponed, bureaucratically delayed. Most did not end the world, they sort of ended a confidence, which is arguably worse. So, how many apocalypses are we facing? All of them? Always? At once? And here is the secret I have learned, staring them down for decades. The world does not end because someone predicts it. It ends when people stop believing it can be repaired. Now, before you panic, scream or join a cult with matching robes, I suggest the traditional response of the Supernatural Defense Force. Pour a drink. I recommend whiskey. Neat. No ice. I suggest optimism. I invite you to take that drink with me now. I have survived 137 apocalypses by doing precisely this. Drinking whiskey, standing very still and staring at the end of the world directly in the eye. It always blinks first. Good night, and whatever happens tomorrow, we'll deal with it then.